So today I'm going to briefly discuss my article, Emperor at Home, King Abroad, Legitimizing Authority in Early Modern East Asia. Building on the rapidly growing literature in the discipline on historical Asia's international relations, I asked the following question. How did the conflicting legitimation narratives in early modern East Asia coexist despite the tensions their mutually exclusive claims generate? Put simply, how did East Asian rulers forward contradictory claims in a system highly sensitive to expressions of status and rank, and more importantly, one that is formally hierarchical? This is puzzling because history has shown that mutually exclusive claims around authority produce tension at best and conflict at worst. A key example of this is the problem of two emperors within medieval Europe, which produced considerable strife due to ambiguities around the basis of authority. Yet early modern East Asia witnessed comparatively higher stability despite having the same problems. Prevailing accounts emphasize highly public ritual diplomacy and legitimizing a hierarchy centered on China, which accounts for stability in the region. Increasingly, however, research in IR demonstrates East Asian rulers legitimizing their authority claims independent and often at odds with their relationship with China. Yet IR has yet to explain how East Asia accommodated public ritual to hierarchical authority while performing contradictory expressions of authority elsewhere. To explain this puzzle, my article makes the following argument. Actors managed the micro-level performances constituting authority, which allowed conflicting legitimation narratives to endure without any convergence. Performances occurred in separate locations, avoiding difficult questions around the basis for authority. Put simply, it created an out-of-sight, out-of-mind logic. This is reflected in the East Asian aphorism, Emperor at Home, King Abroad, which captures the dynamic across the region's history. My work highlights space as an underexplored component of East Asian order in managing the performance of competing authoritarian claims. To demonstrate this, I look beyond China to explore how these spatial practices were emulated by Japan and Vietnam across this period. Furthermore, I highlight this occurs not just between state-level actors, but also those that operated at the region level. Indeed, within East Asia in this period, regional elites not only had an international presence, but performed contradictory legitimation narratives around their authority, which required management on the part of all actors in the system. To explain how competing authority claims were managed, I introduced the concept of the segmentation of space. This is observable in both thought and practice throughout early modern East Asia as actors organized interactions to produce an inside-outside dynamic. So how does this work? First, identify space as physical locations either formally recognized or existing in practice. These can be likened to the boundaries of countries and the divisions within them. Key here is that these spaces and the prevailing logic of appropriateness that was found within each of them are recognizable by all actors across the system in this period. Second, I define segmentation as the process distancing spaces by managing contact between them. Controlling actions within different spaces is justified on these competing legitimation narratives. The actor prevailing in a particular space can dictate when, where, and how interactions take place. This is reinforced by the low interaction capacity of the pre-modern world, which meant things like instant communication and rapid transportation did not exist. Consequently, on the inside, actors perform their own legitimation narratives, while on the outside, they acknowledge prevailing hierarchies. These are not abstractions, but located in two types of governing institutions that East Asia inhabited. The first are the maritime controls, which originated with the Ming, who established a policy restricting trade to specific areas in return for tribute. The second are the internal passports, which are derived from China's hukou system, which required authorization by rulers to move within a country. Overall, this article makes two contributions to IR. The first contribution relates to how authority is legitimized. Rather than converge over time, early modern East Asia shows the emergence of a process managing contradictions within a system and opens the possibility for comparison with other historical systems or other historical periods. The second contribution is to the growing field of historical Asian IR. First, it continues the process of moving beyond hierarchy as the defining feature of East Asian international relations. Rather than an explanation for the stability of historical East Asian order, I highlight that an explanation for hierarchy's durability is required in light of these competing authority claims. Second, it focuses on space as a defining concept in understanding the basis for order in this period. It centers historical institutions such as maritime controls and internal passports as defining aspects managing competing authority claims in contrast to the European experience and indeed earlier accounts of order in historical East Asia. Overall, my article reconciles existing arguments in this field by explaining how competing understandings of the basis of legitimate authority could coexist at the same time. Thanks.